Hey guys, this is Women's Grandmaster Sabina Foyshore. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, 15 minutes or less day-to-day chess games analysis. I really hope you have enjoyed my previous YouTube videos. If you have not checked them yet, please feel free to check my history and enjoy the videos. The first 2 days I have talked about attacking the king. Now I have chosen a game to show to you how simple chess is through the eyes of a grandmaster. For that, I selected the game played by Grandmaster Elshan Moradiabadi against the less experienced Gautier Anand. Here's how the game went. d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6. We arrived in the King's Indian. Here, white has a various amount of choices. For example, f3 is one of them, the Zamish system. f4 is another one, the 4 pawns. Knight f3 is the classical variation. These are the most played ones, but of course you can see other moves played as well. Grandmaster Moradiabadi went for the classical knight f3, castle, and here again white has various choices such as bishop e2, bishop e3, bishop g5, h3. These are the most popular ones. He went for bishop e3. What is the idea of this move? The idea of this move is to somewhat stop c5. Yet c5 is still playable. There is a line where black actually sacrifices a pawn to get his pieces out fast and some attack on these 2 pawns. So if you're going to play this variation with white, make sure you are checking this line out and have in mind what you're going to be playing and how you're going to hold on to your pawn and eventually win the game. Elshan's opponent went for the classical variation e5. Here white has again more choices. Among them are d5, bishop e2, just developing the another piece, or d takes e5. The difference between these moves is like from earth to sky. Bishop e2 is just a developing move and allows black to capture in d4 and have an open position. d5 just goes for the space advantage, and in case of knight g4, there's bishop g5, f6, bishop h4. And then my plan with white is going to be to play c5. And the other line, and the one that Grandmaster Moradiabadi chose, is d takes e5. This line is known to be a harmless line for white because white is just trading the queens off the board and doesn't seem to have any advantage. Yet there is a big difference in this position, and the difference is that white's pawn is in c4 versus black's pawn in c7. And this has positive sides and negative sides. The positive side is that I actually, in this particular moment, I can play knight d5 and have my knight in d5 in an outpost, as an outpost. But in the same time, this d4 square is given away forever. I will never be able to play c3 or e3 to hold on to that square. So if black actually manages to play c6, stop white from coming knight to d5, then he will be able to bring his own piece towards d4. And white won't be able to utilize the d5 outpost. That is the reason why in this position, white is supposed to play knight d5 immediately if he wants to have any kind of advantage from this position. And here, black is more or less forced to capture in d5 because the c7 pawn is being under attack. Of course, you cannot push it. Knight a6 is another continuation, but here comes rook d1, threatening knight e7 check. Bishop e6 seems natural, developing move. But now there's bishop g5, putting pressure on f6 and forcing black to give away the pair of bishops. In this position, we can actually say white has some advantage. So knight takes d5 is more or less forced to maintain some balance in the position. After c takes d5, the position changes a little bit. There's no more fight over d5 or d4, or is it? Well, we'll see. For the moment, the c7 pawn is could become a target for white's rook. If you're not doing anything about it, my rook is coming to c1. I'm going to develop my bishop somewhere on this diagonal, king to e2, double the rooks on the c file, and put pressure in c7. Eventually, you might end up losing that pawn. So black is somewhat forced to play c6. But this is not that bad of a move, because not only am I getting rid of my backwards, in a way, pawn, but in the same time, I'm putting pressure in d5 and forcing you to make some decision. Are you going to capture in c6, or are you going to try to defend this pawn as long as possible? And here, white played bishop c4. Now we're going to notice a couple of differences. The first one that I want you to be aware of is that at move 6, when white played bishop e3, instead of bishop e3, had he played bishop e2 and tried to play the same line, d takes e5, d takes e5, trading the queens, now knight d5 to getting the space in c6, now I need to defend this pawn somehow, and if I play bishop c4, technically I lost some moves, right? I play bishop e2, now bishop c4. In the other position, I had my bishop in e3 already. So keep that in mind. If you want to play the exchange variation, make sure you develop your bishop in e3 and not the other one to e2, so that you have this, you know, extra tempo. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. And the second thing that I wanted to mention is this: in this position is that black with c6 is hoping that white would capture in c6 so that he can develop the knight immediately with knight takes c6. So in this position, white does not want to help black develop his knight, so he plays bishop c4. Now, white would like black to capture in d5 so that he captures back with the bishop and have this outpost here. Really great for white, putting some pressure there, keeping this pawn under attack, and getting ready to finish the development with king e2, bringing the rooks on the files, and white is going to need some time to finish their development properly. So that is the reason why this tension needs to remain there. The tension between these two pawns needs to remain here. At some point it will happen, and when it happens, it should be good for the person who makes the trade. So keep that in mind. Black played b5, bishop b3, and here went for a5, which has the idea of playing a4, making this bishop go away and capturing d5. But I do not consider this as the best move. I think bishop b7 is more natural. We have to finish our development. Okay, this is what white is doing. Why won't we be doing the same thing? And after bishop b7, if rook c1, rook d7, the reason of this move is to control the c7 square, because if we capture in d5, there's rook c7, good move, intermediate move, forcing this bishop to move, and then we would capture in d5. So c takes d5 is not possible here. That's why rook d7 first, and now if king e2, now capturing in d5. Bishop takes, and now not capturing to lose some material in this position, and remained pinned all over the place, but knight to a6. And black has some good play in this position. After a5, Grandmaster Moradiabadi missed the best continuation here, missed a4. The reason this is such a great move is that there's already a tension here, and if you look at this chain of pawns, I'm attacking both the bottom of it and the top of it. So in case this pawn disappears, this pawn is going to be lost, and in case this trade happens, then black has created for himself a weakness in a5, which is going to be lost quite soon after bishop b6. So a4 would have been definitely giving white a big advantage. But Grandmaster Moradiabadi just went for prophylactic a3 to meet a4 with bishop a2 and maintain the bishop on this good diagonal, protecting d5. Bishop b7, rook c1, a4, bishop a2, and black captured in d5. Not the best moment to do so because it allows rook c7. Probably before could have been a good, given black some good chances of counterplay, because if takes, trading things now, and now knight a6, black has some has finished his development and has some attack on the weak white pawns. After c takes d5, rook c7, very good move, and here bishop c6 had to be played. Here's a line that I looked at after knight g5, b4. Another great move found by my computer. The idea of b4 is to create that space for the bishop. So in this line, after knight takes f7, rook here, takes, e takes d5, bishop b5. If knight d6, bishop d3, and now I've created some counterplay for myself. This king is still in the center, and I think this would have been better for black to play. Black in that position played rook d7 and missed this beautiful exchange sacrifice, momentarily exchange sacrifice, because in fact I get the rook back after bishop d5. I'm skewing the two rooks. Rook a7 is the only move, but now I don't need to hurry to take any of the rooks because they are both under attack, and they can get both out of the attack immediately. So I'm just improving my position. This is what Grandmaster Moradiabadi did. King e2. The king needs to be in the center in endgames, so king e2. I don't need to castle. Knight d7. Black is trying to finish his development. Now rook d1. You see, Grandmaster Moradiabadi is not hurrying. His bishops keep this rook's emprise, and he's just waiting to see what black is going to do. Step by step, move by move, just improving the position of his pieces. The king has never moved. It needs to be brought towards the center to bring the rook on the open file. That's what he did. Bishop f6. g4. Again, I'm not hurrying. I want to get more space on the king side. These rooks are not going anywhere. King f8, bishop c6. Now I have a clear threat, capturing in a7, and then this knight in d7 is going to be lost. So black played knight to b6. Now, of course, we have to capture the rook, because otherwise we'll have an exchange down, and we don't want to risk anything. Rook takes g5. And now white is winning a pawn. Bishop e7, knight takes e5, king there, f4, takes, bishop d4. You see, he barely passed the half of the board, but just with slowly moves and improving the position, he just completely outplayed his opponent. Bishop e7, rook c1, knight d7, trying to trade some pieces, but probably missed this rook c8 check, and he lost the bishop there in d8. This was it. This was the game that I wanted to show you. I really hope you enjoyed it, and you are going to come back to check my videos in the next coming days. Just remember, simple chess through the eyes of a grandmaster. I think you had a lot of interesting ideas to take from this video. Remember, develop your pieces and always look for ways to improve them. And never ever trade unless it's towards your advantage. Okay, well, stay tuned for more videos. Goodbye.